Hello, this is Binny here. Today I want to share a very simple concept. A concept of identifying, whether price is near to the high and low. Because I realize that a lot of students, a lot of traders like to enter when the price is high, and then avoid entering, the trade when the price is low. Right, so I've created this very simple, training methodology to help my students identify this, and I hope that in this video to share that with you. All right, so let's get started. In this chart here, which is on STI, the Straits Times Index, all right, first, let's always start off with a month chart, or if you can, start with any chart that's of a higher time frame, for example, a month or week, and then you expand, let's say for a month, all right, in the last 5 years. Okay, so I'm just going to shift that to show in the last 5 years, okay, and somewhere around here to make a comparison to the previous high and low. Okay, now one simple trick, right, to find whether, is a turning point, which is a high or low, is to switch that into a line chart. So I have here as a line chart. And roughly, you're able to identify, for example, if price is currently here, so this is the current price, all right, whether this price right now, whether it is in relation to the previous high and low, whether it is a high point or low point, right? Okay, so let's try to identify and go through all the different, previous points here. All right, so these are some of the low points here. And then this is a high point. All right, so I'm just going to mark this as a high, and then this is a low. All right, then this is a low point, right? Okay, now this one here looks like a U shape. So this one is a low point, and this looks like a mountain. So this looks like a high point. All right, and this is a low point, and then this is a high point. All right, you don't need to go through too much, because what I'm interested to know, all right, this point right now at the price here, whether it is near to the high or low. Okay, now, so you can roughly say is that if I consider this whole picture here, that means this entire picture here, right? Then what is happening inside this place, okay, in relation to this low, and let's say, for example, this is a 1, okay, and in relation to this highest point here, and let's say I mark this as a 10, right? And what is the price right now? Okay, is it nearer to 1 or is it nearer to 10? I think your answer is very clear here. It is nearer to 10. So probably if you treat this as a 10, the high point as a 10 and the low point as a 1, then you probably say, hey, look, currently right now it's probably maybe 8. Okay, so it is not near to the low, but then it is nearer to the high. Okay, so that's about 8. So if you are buying right now, you are buying near to the high. Okay, so this is the first exercise that you want to do. And let's say, for example, if the month is too far away for you to see, then I want to have a look in the week. Okay, so right now I'm actually at the week already. Now for the week, right, what you can shift in terms of the comparison is to compare that to the past 1 year. That means that for a month, you can compare that to the past 5 years, but for the week, you compare that to the past 1 year. All right, so 1 year, so that's about right now like this. Okay, so about 202122 period here, and then until right now, so that's about it. Okay, now let's make some comparison here. Okay, same thing, we're gonna map in the highs and the lows. So this would be your high point, all right, and then some high points, some low points, and then some low point here. Now question would be, at this place here, okay, is it a high or is it a low? All right, so if you realize that this would be the lowest point, and let me just mark this as 1, and this one here will be the highest point, and then let's mark this as 10, right? Okay, now this right now, this place, is it nearer to 10 or is it nearer to 1? I think the answer is quite clear, right? It is nearer to 10. All right, so probably we are talking about current price, let's say, at about 7. All right, if not, then it's about 7.5, and then somewhere around here, could be an 8 or it could even a 9. All right, so if you are buying at this region here, so let's say you're buying at this region here, then you're definitely buying near to the high point, right? And for high, if you are buying at high and for it to go even higher, there is a need for price to, break out. That means to have a huge momentum to break out of that highest point we've seen. And you know that that's really tough, okay, because you really want to hope to buy near the low point here, so that, when price moves up, you really have an edge in terms of the profit. And if it really does break above it, then you have additional money here. Okay, so that's a very simple exercise. All right, now let's say, for example, if you're into the day and you say, hey, look, I'm into even shorter trading, right? What should I look? Same thing. All right, you can look in the past 6 months. Okay, the past 6 months to give you a little bit of a reference to let you know whether price is near to the high or near to the low. All right, so let's just take a little bit more than 6 months here. All right, so that's the past 6 months, and I have my chart into a line chart. And then let's take a look here. This is the low point here, and this is the high point. Okay, and then that's a little bit of a high here. All right, so low and then high, right? Okay, so maybe that you can't see this point clearly, it doesn't really matter. So the question would be, if this is 1 and then this is 10, all right, then where would be a low point for you to, identify for a buy? Okay, perhaps right now here, okay, it's not near to the low point. All right, because if you are asking for a discount, let's say, for example, if I'm going shopping and then you saw that shop, right, is offering a discount, then you ask yourself, right, how many % of discount would you be interested to walk inside the shop, even if you have no interest in buying the item? I think, general answer for my students would be having a 50% or 60% discount, because I assume that I don't have interest in buying that item, right? Therefore, okay, the question would be, the quick question, is it even at a 50% discount for this price here? Okay, I don't think so, right? Because if it's at a 50% discount, you need to measure into this distance here, all right, and to find that middle point, isn't it? Okay, and and you can easily calculate that middle point. All right, you can take the highest to the lowest, and then find the difference, divide by 2, and then get the number. Okay, or one of the easiest way is to use a Fibonacci retracement. Okay, here I have, which is the Fibonacci retracement tool that I've drawn in here, and to take the low point to the high point, and a 50% retracement is at 0.5, that's about 3,189, and we know that we are not near there yet. Okay, and we're talking about 60% discount, so that's about 3,137. All right, so this technique would gives you, all right, that tool for you to constantly be looking. All right, I think the key thing is to be looking out to always buy near the low, not at the high. Okay, when you are able to buy near the low, then that allows you to have the higher portion in terms of profit, right? Or in any case, that if you do make a loss, the fact that you bought a low, you have more certainty in terms of waiting out, hoping that the trade will become a successful one. And thanks for watching this mini, revision, or rather lesson on highs and lows. Very, very simple concept. And since we're here, all right, few things to do. Number 1, if you like the video, please give a like and please subscribe to the channel. Number 2 is that since we're here, let me just do a quick review into the outlook of STI, Straits Times Index. All right, because we are at the start of the month, and usually for month, start of the month or end of the month is very important for us, because then we note the month close. All right, few things to take note of. Number 1 is that STI is currently being resisted right now along this trend line, and as well as the high of 3,400. Now note that 3,400 is currently the key resistance level, and that has been holding for years. Okay, meaning that starting from 2019, STI has been hovering around here and being resisted at this 3,400 level, and that's a very important level, and it's not surprising that STI doesn't close above that. All right, above 3,400. Now, second is that that I trade on the wash and rinse concept, and therefore we placed a lot of attention into the wash line. All right, take a look at this bar here. On the month of January, it was generally a bullish bar. All right, and price had closed above the previous high. That resulted in a wash line. Okay, and then this wash line on the month of February, price didn't manage to stay above the wash line. In other words, right, there's a wash and rinse. Okay, if you're interested to know what is wash and rinse and how to apply that for the stock market, then you can actually take my free module. I have put up a link here which includes the free module. You can just watch it. Now, and at the same time, because of this wash and rinse here, then STI started to drop. Okay, in fact, that today it's dropped quite substantially, even though Hong Kong is actually moving up. All right, it is right now near to this support level, which is about 3,220. 3,220 is my suspected level for STI at least to hold for a while. And if it does, and if it did stage the rebound, all right, then look out for price to retrace into this 3,300 level again, all right, and it's probably going to act as a resistance at this 3,300 level. All right, now if all this unfolds and to become true, then we might build a massive head and shoulder pattern for the STI, which is a very common reversal pattern. Okay, and when this happens, and if the neckline at 3,220 is broken, we might see STI actually moving lower. All right, going forward, I do not think that there's a lot of driver for the Singapore market locally itself by itself, unless the drivers come from, you know, foreign markets, all right, like the US or the Hong Kong. Okay, so be prepared, all right, that we might have more bearishness ahead for the STI.